that you guys utilize. Mashable. Okay, I'm not really, so Mashable's like articles or, okay. So I mean, I knew we had a little bit of a controversial debate of what is and what isn't social media. I'm not sure if we want to get into that yet right now, but and unless somebody thinks, does somebody have a really concise definition on what social media is? No. Okay, so we don't need to get, we kind of know. Yeah. Okay. All right. So any other platforms that you utilize regularly? Is GitHub a social media? Sort of. No, okay. Why? Okay, that's like a starting point. Okay. Reddit, Google Messenger, Yahoo Messenger. Okay. For chatting, I don't know if that's social media, is it? I mean, you're engaging with people, or you can. I'm not on Yahoo Messenger, so you have to.
That's where we all started from.
Okay. Sorry, I think we move on now. Okay, so as far as how social media copy differs from web copy, there's this great, a good quote that I found. Would someone like to read it?
Copy must always be imaginative, engaging, and persuasive, regardless of where it will be seen. Yes, format structures will vary as the space dictates, but the fundamental principles of copywriting must remain in every tweet, every post, every transaction, and will be all.
Thank you very much. So basically what this is saying is that, yes, we realize that social media is a different platform, that we have to change the way we engage on the platform, but the basics of writing copy still remain, right? You still need to be engaging. You still need to show value to your audience. Many of the things we talked about in web copy also pertain to social media copy, but it just looks different in the way that you present the information. So when we're talking about social media copy, it's not drastically different from other forms of copy. But there are stylistic differences, which you all know and probably utilize often. So we want to keep that in our minds. So many of the things we talked about in web copy still have value in social media. Okay, so let's talk about some particular tips and techniques for writing web copy. And please do add, because I know many of you have your own tips and tricks. Okay? So it's important to establish your voice and define your type. And when we're talking about social media copy today, we're not necessarily talking about your personal social media accounts. That is also important, establish your voice for personal branding reasons, but we're really talking about for your company if you're utilizing social media. So let's try to make that distinction just a little bit because it will differ, maybe in your approach. Okay, so if you're a company, you have a product, you want to establish your voice and define your type on social media. Does anyone have an idea of what I mean by this?
You know how you want to sound to your users and keep it consistent. When you want to be formal, you always be formal. You always be without response. Regarding the type, your style of writing should also always consistent.
That's very good. That's exactly it. Does anyone have anything else to add to that?
Cheryl has spoken.
Cheryl has spoken. Okay. Well, Anisha Dyer, she got it. I realized that was quite concise and I was going to say as well. So you need to figure out for your product, for your company, what is your voice. Okay? So if we look back at K-Sale, and we were looking at their letter copy, and when Osborne was in here, he said they're trying to make it a very fun way of approaching people. Something that's not so fun, they want to make it fun. And so we saw some of the language on their website, drop us a line that maybe reflects that fun personality. Okay? And so they're trying to maintain that throughout. That's the type, or that's the voice they've decided to utilize. Okay, and then your type. So on social media platforms, when we follow products or companies, some of them utilize their Facebook for providing facts. Okay? Some of them utilize it for engaging with their customers, asking questions. There's a company called Cranium. Are we familiar with it? It's a game, like a board game that you play that has different questions that are supposed to make your mind really think. And what they do on social media is that they test their questions on social media. So they throw them out there to their fans, they get responses, and then from those responses, they decide to incorporate what to incorporate into the game and what not to. So not only are they engaging their users, but they're also acquiring necessary information for them. So they've decided that's their type. That's how they go. Now you can change your type. Maybe some days, maybe every Monday you give a quote. Okay, every Tuesday you ask a question. Every Wednesday you appreciate a fan. Whatever your approach is, like Cheryl said, you determine it, and then you are consistent with it. So does anybody have a voice that or a type that they created on social media for a product or a company that they'd like to share? How they came about that? So Abdul will make an entry later on in the lecture. So we'll hear from him. So maybe I will say anybody other than Abdul right now so that he can share with us a little bit. Jesse? For your social media, for a product or for a company, have you determined a voice or a type that you want to share with us? You've never done it, okay.
So I do social media for a friend, a travel agency.
Okay.
So we do only to Dubai. So what I do is on specific days, we target our customers. I do maybe there was one that said maybe I'm just in the sale of the lifetime and want to do up some cash and do our charges or something like that.
Okay.
So we want them to know that they are in the category of people we are looking for.
Okay.
Other times we give them previews of the places they can go to in Dubai with a lot of pictures and stuff. So that they will be entitled to watch to do it. And then we tell them you can visit these places without so the language is more like we want you.
So, okay. So you're kind of playful a little bit, but you're also informative. You're providing information and you're engaging. So social media generally, let me get your thoughts on this. It's not necessarily a place to be very formal. Right? Would you agree? Okay, so tell me about yourself on social media and the voice that they use. So do you find Airtel's social media engaging, or you find it kind of dull? It's not great. But maybe it's for somebody, maybe it's their ideal target. Right? But Airtel has a pretty broad user base. So generally, a formality is okay in different situations, but generally social media is an opportunity for you to show another side of your product, of your brand. You can be a law firm, you're really serious all the time. You don't have to be complete goofballs on social media, but maybe you can show another side. It's an opportunity to be more complex than just the normal image that everybody knows.
So, how do you define the type who sell on
Their type. So maybe their type is evangelism. Maybe that's their aim, like what they're trying to do. Maybe you'll disagree with what I'm saying. No, you don't think that. So you think, so information giver, maybe that's their type? Yeah. We'll get into theology.
But even with that, there's a way of making it fun. I follow Denzel on Facebook, and there's a way of making it fun, not necessarily sounding too religious. I follow Denzel, and he has a nice way of making his daily quotes, and it's nice.
Again, it's about what? Knowing your.
I agree with you. Sometimes the control of what you're learning is really depends on the audience. You are looking at people that are professional, all the other you need to check.
Right. So knowing your audience. Right. But just saying that social media is that opportunity that you can show another side if you you think it will be good for your product and your brand and relate to your audience. We should actually have something. Okay.
So I'm going to ask, like, what is the purpose of social media to get lots of people aware of it? So Fred said the last time that when you target a specific niche, that's a very good way to share your stuff.
Yeah. I think it's also your goals, right? Everybody has a different goal and why they're on social media and what their motivation is for being there. Okay, so some is to share their product or their company. Some they just want to share information. Others want to engage directly with their customers. Everybody has a different approach. Some have many goals for their social media.
Others want to find partners on Facebook.
Yeah.
And it's working.
Well, partners like life partners, or like business partners.
Life partners.
Okay.
They really work.
Okay. Well, go to Nana for some information.
I actually met a couple that met yesterday. They're getting married within this week, and through Facebook.
More than your business and product. So, but we're gonna focus on the business product side. Okay. So next tip: share at the right time. Share at the right time. How many of you have been able to figure out the right time to post on a particular platform in order to get your target engagement?
So there's this tweet for Twitter, I forgot it. I think I guess like my followers on Twitter, I think they don't start to their peak times and geographical location as well.
So you can schedule your tweets for that particular time.
Sometimes by looking at the things people like, so for instance, like when people like they share sentiment and then the death of someone, we can just put out for your own stuff to encourage those people out. Yes, by looking at what people like, you can also do the time.
So you're saying not so much schedule a general time, but you being aware of what's going on in your own feeds and platforms and respond appropriately after. That's great, but it also takes a lot of time, right? To be consistently checking, being aware. So if your job isn't solely social media, right? They say generally there's certain times. And there's some times here, these I am suspecting are based on the US. It might be different in Ghana, maybe not. But for something like LinkedIn, we would take that for example. People who are using it are professionals. So when are they probably using it or hopefully using it? before work and after work. Okay, so we're seeing that generally they're not using it during the day because they're at work. So if you want to reach them, your post should maybe be timed for those slots. And then Pinterest, or Pinterest, they're saying 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., 8 p.m. to 1 p.m. So I thought this was pretty interesting. It's like in the middle of the day. So maybe those who have time utilize it. Okay. And they're just scrolling around. Yeah. Maybe. I thought that was an interesting time to have.
For Facebook, I think it's similar to LinkedIn. Most workers get to go on it. First thing they do when they get to work, and then when they close, sometime around lunch, and when they close, almost everybody visits Facebook before he or she goes home. So.
But this was interesting. Yeah, they said 1 to 4 based on the studies that they had conducted. But again, it may be different for every geographical area, right? People have different patterns. So I know that, for instance, in the United States, in many companies, certain I think it's certain websites are blocked for people. So, for instance, my mom works for the government, and she cannot check, she can't open her personal account on their, during work hours. It's blocked. I don't know what you call that. There's a net. She can't get through it to anything, right? So she couldn't check. She doesn't have a LinkedIn or anything, but she couldn't if she wanted to. She can't check her personal Gmail account. She can only check her professional one. And that's actually quite common in the U.S. So it doesn't surprise me that something like LinkedIn, they show it after work hours.
She has a smartphone, right?
She just got one. So proud of her. No, but it's actually really funny because I would send her a WhatsApp message, then she'd write me an email and say, I saw your WhatsApp message. But now I think she's got it. And now she even sends me voice messages. And sometimes she'll send 3 or 4 because she lets go of the microphone. She's learning and I'm super proud of her. But anyway, back to sharing at the right time. So you need to figure out for your platform that you're utilizing for your company and the audience you're trying to reach, when is the best time, okay? And maybe their best time is not your best time. So I know there's many tools. Okay, Ellie was showing me a few the other day where you can schedule your posts. Okay. Send the right message to the right platform. Okay, so here we have airport security, which is not enjoyable. There's some of you might experience with this. They harass you, you take off your shoes, you go through security, especially coming in and out of the U.S. It's a hassle, right? You do not really like the immigration people, the security, they call it TSA. And then maybe they have like us on Facebook. Are you going to like them after they just flagged you down, patted you down,
Blast
made you
them.
go through a long line? Probably not. Okay, so this is a funny comment, but it actually happens quite often. Right? People are sending their messages at the wrong times and utilizing the wrong platforms. Okay, so a lot of companies say, okay, I have to have a social media presence. Right, so they maybe copy and paste from their website and put it across all their platforms, or they just have a blanket message. Some of you are smiling. You've seen this? Yeah. It's not really effective, right? Maybe you have a presence, okay, you're there, but are you actually meeting your goals and engaging with your target audience? Probably not. Does anyone have an example of wrong messaging on a wrong platform? wrong platform, wrong account to be utilizing. So it's bad. Okay. But so we all know that if we want to reach our audience, we have to be very intentional about how we do it. Okay. So if you are, I'm going to go back to let's say an accounting firm. Do you want to be posting your posts on Pinterest? Probably not, right? Do you want to be taking pictures of your law firm on Instagram? I mean, maybe you're trying to show your hip, you're with it, but is that actually the right platform for you? Or is it better to maybe post on Twitter or post on Facebook? Would that be better? Or LinkedIn? That may be more appropriate, right? So understanding your product and then your audience and deciding which is best to use. Please, if you disagree, let me know.
Putting something on the wrong platform.
Yeah.
So like, let's say your grandma is there and you don't put it on
No, that's a great tip. So LinkedIn is what? A professional networking social media platform. Okay. That would be a great example. You don't want to put maybe your personal events happening on LinkedIn, but Facebook maybe. Maybe Twitter, people use it as a memory stream. There you go. Okay, Ruben. Yeah. So they, not that we expect that they're not allowed to have fun, but that they're uniform, right? And that's not appropriate to be showing on a social platform. Does that portray your mission well? So that's a good example. But you can put that to whatever you do. You can ask yourself, does this get my message across well? Does this platform align with what I'm saying?
So, with respect to Army, I've been following the US and Israeli Army, and they pretty much use social media very well to convey their purpose and what they are doing to protect people and how ready and efficient they are. One post I watched was how they were recruiting new guys into the US Navy, and it was such an awesome, like, 2-minute video. Just for like, I want to be part of this.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very good tool that is used by these things to do.
Yeah, I mean, if you use it well, right, it can be powerful. And actually, U.S. Navy and Army does a really good job of correcting your interest. Actually, it makes service seem very glorious.
Yeah, they do.
Which there's been a lot of actually controversy about it because people have said, should you be making it appear so glorious?
I think it's okay. They have this thing called the Blue Angels, and all they do is aerial acrobatics. Yes, they just display it in there. And you find like a 5-year-old child seeing this for the first time, and it's imprinted in his mind so much he wants to join it by the time he's 18. And that's the only way. You need large amounts of army. That's one of the best ways to recruit people from the youth.
So we can continue that debate.
Yeah.
I'm a pacifist, so I have it.
And you pay that you rated account, there were questions of where is the park, like what was the so that was trending and they really give you a reply. So it took a long time to do that, yes, it's very good. I don't think it has worked well. So I think I don't think I think the first week was really nice. They were like, hello Peter, we cannot open up never see yes, we're thinking about that. And that was the first week and it was like they had like 1,000, 2,000 views. So it was really
But then moving forward, if you are the CIA,
why would you be in?
secrecy and undercover and hiding information.
Why would you be
How do you go on
on
a
social
social
media?
media platform, right? So I understand they're trying to utilize the opportunity, but is it appropriate? So those are the sorts of questions you should be asking as well.
I should ask them why they killed me.
Okay, so this is just a helpful little image. The right message plus the right people plus the right time equals our happiness. That's very like to portray this. So just to keep in mind. Okay, another tip. Uncover the gem. Okay. So how many of you feel like there's just a lot of noise on social media? Lots of hands. Okay. There's a lot of information out there, right? And there's all these studies coming out saying that we're overstimulated, we're over-engaged, we're over it. Right? We're over all of it. So, if you are a company or you're a product, or well, your company's product, how are you going to engage with your audience in a way that grabs their Yeah. So you have helpful or interesting or engaging content, but also maybe content that not everybody is sharing. Right? Sometimes I go to my Twitter feed, it's like the same article or the same quote is just being shared or just repeated by everybody else. But what is your original content? Or what is your interesting content that you're sharing? And maybe not everybody is sharing. And this is harder, right? It's hard to find things that people haven't already seen. But so I know a lot of you do it. So how do you do it? How do you find the stuff? How do you determine what is special and different for you shared?
Okay, this is not what I have shared, but what someone has shared. I noticed that people who have something doing often have something relevant to share. People who have something doing have something relevant to share.
Okay.
For example, I follow this guy called Strive Masiyiwa. I don't know if I pronounce the name well, but he talks about his life and how he succeeded as an entrepreneur. And his posts are lengthy, but I enjoy reading the entire thing because it's unique to his life. And but the rest of the things that people, even myself, sometimes share is just copy stuff and share stuff. So I find that some of the gems are the personal stories of people, and they kind of drive a huge message across.
So maybe original content in that case that's not already shared, but something you actually bring out yourself. Is it possible? That's great. Right. But it's informative, right? And you're interested in it. It's different. Maybe you have something I saw your very nice things.
So I just thought about this. There was this bicycle awareness in Congress where I just used to see my friends posting like good one sentence, maybe I'm in love with someone. When you like it or comment, and you send me a whole paragraph of that talks about breast cancer awareness. I think that's also another thing in social media.
You got all of us, right?
So grab the attention.
But are you in love?
So there's also a Twitter account, and I was trying to find it yesterday, and I couldn't find it again. But they show old pictures in Ghana from Ghana's history. Does anyone know this Twitter account? It's a fascinating account. They bring out these pictures of like Kwame Nkrumah when he was a young child, or old traditional dress from long ago. And it's fascinating because what they're sharing are things you're not seeing everywhere else. And you just wonder which library in the country they're sitting in and digging through these books. They have very unique content, right? They're uncovering a gem and they're sharing something that no one else is really sharing. Again, to find these pictures is hard. You don't necessarily find them online. And I think it's a great account. I'll search for the name. I follow them, but I couldn't find them online. Right. Okay. Yes, right.
I don't understand the question.
I would say if you created noise, then you have some engagement there. Now, sometimes it's negative noise that you don't want. Okay, Delta did that, which we'll talk about later. I think some politicians in Ghana did that recently. But I don't think it's necessarily bad, right? So you create some noise. All right. But hopefully what you shared is meaningful to whoever responded. I mean, there's so much noise out there. You need to get your voice out there as well. But hopefully, it's meaningful noise, right? There's a difference.
Like being a church station and every church makes shouting, Accra, Nima. If they don't really scream, they won't get the people who want to go to that house.
Yeah.
Because it's a very big station.
Well, okay, you hear Accra, you hear Nima, you hear whatever, but you're looking for circle. So you're going to listen for circle, okay? And that's what you're going to respond to. So there's other noise out there, but you pick the one that's most meaningful to you.
If you don't make noise, nobody finds you.
Yeah. So I see what you're saying. Do we really want to contribute to it? Well, I don't see it going anywhere, unfortunately. So you want your noise to be meaningful. Okay, give credit where credit is due. I think this is pretty plain and simple, but it's important. And social media has this tendency of being a place where you can plagiarize without getting caught, which I don't think is a good thing, right? If you see something, not only is it respectful to credit wherever you found it, but it many times helps you build your following or helps you further engage. When you say, great article from Anish Dai, then you've engaged him, and then maybe he retweets it, and maybe he has followers and sees that you tweeted something that he wrote, then he goes to your platform, or they go to your platform, maybe they like what you have, they follow you. So when you are giving credit, not only is it respectful, but it's an opportunity to build your network as well. Okay, and if you didn't come up with it, there's no need to say you did. Okay, you're just uncovering the gems. If you have original content, awesome. If you don't, at least make sure you let people know where you found it. Okay, and help them further engage. If you use a quote but you don't say who it's by or where you found it, nobody else can further engage with what you posted.
Awesome.
All right. Interact and follow up. Many companies have gotten out of social media because it's static and shit. And then they don't use their accounts very well. People will post and there's no follow-up. There's no response. There's no interaction. So what it ends up becoming is a one-sided platform, and very soon you see what? People are going away. Followers are not following. There's not really much of an effort. So interacting and following up is really important, even if it's negative. Does anyone have experience with that? So, while you're thinking if you have experience, I'll give you a story. I have a friend right now who's doing graduate research in the U.S., and he was using the U.S. Census Bureau's information, and they had not very good information on what he was trying to find. So he responded to them on Twitter, and kind of had a bit of, I mean, it was respectful, but like, you know, you're not providing the information that you say you are, in a respectful way. He said creatively, sorry. And U.S. Census Bureau could have just ignored it, but what they did is they actually responded and they said, oh, are you looking for this? And they provided him another link. And he was like, oh, yes, that was what I was looking for. So he thanked them, and they said, oh, okay, maybe you also want this. And they even provided more. So what was a negative comment and could have easily just made them look like they weren't providing information, or they could just ignore him because they knew they were providing information and he just wasn't seeing it. They engaged with him. They responded. And it made him, at the end, actually say, thank you, U.S. Census Bureau, great interacting with you, and he tweeted it, and then people retweeted it, and then maybe they got additional followers. Okay? So turning a negative, I think I've seen Vodafone do this as well. So people would say, Vodafone's down in my area, and then they'll respond on Facebook or Twitter and say, we're working on it. They give a response. You don't so does anyone else have an experience or something, the importance of interacting and following up?
So, I mean, what do you do when I started some people
What you gave me?
Okay, personally. They engage you personally. Okay, so some things maybe you don't engage publicly. That's something you need to discern. But at least they followed up. Are you satisfied? But at least they followed up. They didn't leave you hanging there in anger. There's a quote, and I've heard different numbers people use, but they say like a happy customer tells 5 people, or whatever number, people use different numbers, tells 5 people, but an angry customer tells, 15 or 50 or 500. So when you're really passionate either for or against something, that's when you share most, right? So it's good to remember that. And if you see either a positive or a negative comment, you interact with them, you follow up. If it's positive, thank you, great, we're so happy, you like our products. If it's negative, you engage with it as well. Good way to respond. Now, don't forget to send him a personal email. So put a sticky note on your computer. Okay, I'll take one more before you move on, Ruben.
Ruben, did they call you back? Did they call after you blasted them on social? Like the hashtag
So now you're satisfied. Okay. So interact and follow up, and then listen to feedback. Okay. So sometimes, there's these people on social media, right, that I think they call them trolls, or just like negative people that are really not giving constructive feedback, but they're just being mean. Like, mean, wrong people. Okay. That sort of feedback, maybe not what you want to pay attention to, but constructive feedback. And if you're getting a lot of negative feedback, take a moment. It hurts to receive negative feedback for something that you posted, but take a step back, think about it, and try to put yourself in that person's shoes and understand why. Because if you take the feedback, then you can adjust accordingly, and that ultimately will make you stronger. If it's positive, recognize what you're doing great and keep doing it. If it's negative, listen to it and see if you should adjust. Feedback is important, right? We talk about all the time. But listen to it even on social media and respond. All right. So we're just going to watch this short little video. This lady has an interesting way of approaching these tips, but they're good tips. And so I just thought we could listen to them. Some of them you know, but good reminders if you know them. Okay, let's put this speaker in.
Chia went viral because of social media.
I'm sorry?
Chia.
Yeah. Because somebody caught it on their phone, right?
Yeah. But I can't see a news when it's on BBC.
They should have on BBC.
They're like what's the name? The one in charge of the parliament. They ban anybody from saying Chia before the presidential statement.
Can you see this?
Yeah, he even said it. When the guy had banned, he said nobody should say it. Chia. But where is Chia now? Chia has disappeared. You know that trending.
Okay. So we're just going to watch this video, then we'll just do a quick summary, and then you'll have a break, and then we'll bring in a special guest who may be sitting in this room. All right? Okay. I don't think it's on. It's on? No, it's not on. Okay, not any lights? Oh.
Yeah, you need a white one.
Okay. Alright, so do you want to take like a 5-minute break while we
Yeah.
But that works.
Okay, guys, we're going on a break.
Social media content but it can be a real challenge for us. And the reason for that is actually so much more casual and so much more fun than traditional marketing copy. So here are 5 rules that you can live by when you're writing your content. The first one, and I already used this word, is make it fun. Make it fun. It should never be boring. Even if you are a professional services firm or a law firm, your social media content, it is about creating and encouraging conversation. So if you go out with that really dry, canned corporate message voice, it's going to do nothing, really. I mean, you'll get some followers, but you're not going to get any engagement. And it's in the engagement that the value of social media comes in, because that's when you start having conversations with folks. Perhaps they want to use your service. Perhaps they want to get to know you better, which leads to trust, which leads to their using your service. So you see how it works. The next one is to provide free value. If people are going to take the time to actually follow you, or like you, or comment on a blog, you want to make sure that you are providing them with something that they can't get anywhere else. So, you don't have to sell the farm, But it does pay to give them some free value. I mean, fundamentally, look what I'm doing here. I give my clients tons of free value in my blogs, but I know that if someone is going to hire me, it's because they don't have time to do this themselves. But what it does is it helps to educate my clients so that they have an idea of what I'm doing. And a highly educated client is a really good client to have. So it really works for both of you to be providing lots of free value. Another thing is to ask your community questions, engage. Okay, imagine if you go to a cocktail party and you meet someone and they only talk about themselves, right? And you're sitting there for 5 minutes and they're just talking about themselves, and very slowly you are losing the will to live because it's so boring, right? You have to ask questions about those people who are following you. Ask them their opinions, what they think about something. If somebody has a really interesting tweet or Facebook comment, then be all over that, like white on rice. Have a conversation, be real, pretend that you are in the real world. Another one is lead with gratitude. It's really important to constantly be thanking your followers, acknowledging if they're putting in effort, acknowledge if they're talking to you. On Twitter, you can do this with meaningful Follow Fridays, where you mention somebody and say why they should be followed. Just don't put their name up or their Twitter handle. On Facebook, literally go on your Facebook page and say, hey, thank you to all our fantastic followers and our community. You guys are amazing, and we're so grateful for you. And we're so grateful for your continued engagement. I mean, it's just common sense, right? You don't have time to send them all a personal thank you card, so thank them on your Facebook feed or your Twitter feed. And then the last one is that your content should always be 100% positive. The social media world, it's a very utopian place to be, and I find that when we put something in print that is not 100% positive, it looks 100% negative. Even if you think it's neutral, people interpret it negative. I guess it's just the way that we are. So make sure that everything is so saccharine sweet. It has to be really, really positive. So I hope this has been helpful for you. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. And you can visit us at www.lyricommunications.com. Thanks so much.
So a lot of them, but good reminders, and to hear details on each one, I think is good. Did any of them stick out? And I really like how she said an educated customer is great, right? So if you're already giving them some information about what you do, your product, then they're able to engage with you at a deeper level. I like that. Anyone else? Right? There's simple things you can do to show people that you also value them and their follow and their engagement. So this, I don't have an answer to that because I've been wondering the same thing. Does anyone else have an answer? I think it depends on the company and your approach. I mean, if you're somebody who has a lot of followers, is it practical or is it even helpful to follow everyone because it just becomes a number you follow?
I don't know. Anytime I'm on Twitter, I see a person with huge following, but follows very few people. Instinctively, I want to follow the person because of like, wow, why would everybody follow him? Why would he follow such a few set of people? And I think it's a little bit of like show off, but it attracts people to know you have such a large following, yet follow very few people. I don't know, but that's how I feel about it personally when I see people with large following.
that is someone. When you speak, nobody should listen. But if you don't know what it means, you actually hear anybody listen to you. You don't know to listen. That's how it's done. You want to talk to them, but you get something. So I think there's a lot of it.
Yeah. Cheryl, I think it's a great question, and maybe it's something we can think about. Abdul, did you have
Yeah,
something?
so also brands use it as an incentive, right? So they tell us, for example, if they decide to follow everybody, then they might not get good feed. That's what I'm saying. So in their timeline, they might not get content. But then if they realize that, oh, there's somebody who likes them, or you mention them a lot, then they follow you. That way, like the future post you make, they get to see it, and if it's something they have to respond to, respond to. And because they don't respond to too many people, when they follow you, it's like that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It puts you high.
Yeah.
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 I've been wondering as well. I don't know, I don't mention anybody, but they follow. Like, the last time I was very worried that they were looking for the I don't really realize it. They followed me and I was like, wait, you just followed me and with my favorite what do they consider before they follow?
Sometimes it's a marketing smart, right? They follow you, you follow them back, you know, and sometimes it's like making you aware of people came. So you really know what people came. When they follow you, you get to know what people came. You understand?
And then it's like that, yeah, really explains it, yeah. I don't know, I noticed something recently that I'll look at somebody's page, okay, and then a few days later, that person starts following me, and I don't know if it's because then I come up on their little sidebar that says people to follow, and I don't know if there's some, I don't know, some of you can tell me what's behind that. Yeah, an algorithm. I think so, because I've seen it now for several weeks. I'll look at someone's page just because maybe somebody retweeted them, and then all of a sudden, a few days later, they're following me, and I'm wondering how that happened. How do I know? No, I'm watching. Okay, but we're gonna move on so that we can get first here. So before you share, ask yourself: is this worth sharing? Okay. Is the content so useful that your reader would thank you? If maybe it's not useful, fill that in with a different word. Is it so interesting, so thought-provoking? Is it so something that your reader, who you're trying to target, would thank you? If it is, think about sharing it. Now, remember, all the time, you're not going to get thank yous all the time, but this is just a way to think about what you're sharing. Is the content so funny, interesting, thought-provoking that your reader will not only thank you, but maybe share it? Is it shareable? Okay, there was a study that came out that those headlines that are short and catchy and easy to share on Twitter get a lot more retweets than very long titles. Just because it's easy, nobody has to try to shorten it to fit it into the 140 characters. You can just put it in there. Does it relate to your company's goal, vision, engagement strategy? Is your message aligning with your goals? Okay, what you're posting, does it make sense for your company? If it doesn't, then maybe that's not. So there was a politician, and I don't want to get into politics, okay, here, so I'm not dissing anyone, I'm just saying. So Hannah Tete, how she responded to the Flagstaff protest, Occupy Flagstaff protest. I'm not attacking her, I'm just saying, okay, I don't know politics, I'm just saying, if she's a representative of the government, and she, it's maybe her personal account, but obviously it's a representation. Is that the message you want to send? Is that aligning with the message of democracy and freedom of speech? And I don't know. So those are the things you want to ask yourself. Does this make sense for what my end goal is, what I'm representing, what I'm trying to get across? Would you share it? If you wouldn't share it, then probably it's not worth sharing, right? Mm-hmm. So make sure it's something that not only others might share, but you yourself would share or like. Okay, I had some examples, but I think that we've talked about some examples, and I think Abdul will do some on that. So I'm just going to fast forward 5 minutes. And
Let's
now,
look at that.
what?
The period line. Yes.
Okay. Now it's time to learn from
Romulante. Guest lecture. Romulante. Bodyguard.
So I want to thank my grandfather, my uncle.
the fine ladies and gentlemen in the audience.
Yep. So I have some tips here. Then to take from Nancy and use it as like. So the first thing I have here is that social media is patience. Yeah, so some of this is tying directly to how you're going to get engagement and user likes and stuff like that. So remember, social media is patient. If you start, you might not really be getting engagement, but it doesn't mean you should give up. Now imagine like you start up a page for maybe flip. Initially you just have 25 people like you. You'll be wondering like, okay, so I just have 25, why should I keep like making posts? Right? Just remember that's where it starts. And then you post. And if you don't keep on posting, other people will not find it interesting to even like. So you have things where you say, okay, so you stop posting, you don't get more. So the 5 people, assume it's 5,000 people or 5 million people to keep on posting. And remember, whenever you want to give up, remember your competitors are doing it well. So keep it up. The second one, so you have objectives for each channel, right? So Homeland, you are using Facebook and Twitter. Because more or less those who use Homeland will be university students, those amongst us who are both like so like you have objectives for this channel. And why do you use Twitter? Because most people use Facebook and Twitter. Now, if you take Facebook, the kind of messages you have on Facebook is different from the information I'm going on Twitter. Now, on Twitter, things are short. So what I use it for is to just tell people, right? So it's more like, okay, so you don't know, I'm just telling you that Vodafone has this promo or has this service. Airtel has this, has that. Now, on Facebook, it's more information, right? So there are phone tips, there are funny pictures, I give out credit, yeah. So have objectives for each channel. So the other thing is should be consistent. So Cheryl talked about it. But then when consistent also means if you post 2 days at 2 days interval, make sure it's 2 days interval. You don't post 2 days interval, you wait for 14 days, then you post, then you wait for a month. You need to be consistent. So you are posting maybe twice a day, keep it like that, twice a day. The fourth one, yeah, there's something here that's very important. So yeah, complete the information on your page. This one is very important. Like sometimes, if you don't do that, like then your brand is not taken seriously. Just like you just set up your Facebook page and you're doing something. So complete it. There's some information you need to complete it. Sometimes, because of the way SEO works, your company is new. The SEO thing doesn't work. When somebody Googles you, the person doesn't really get it. But if Facebook will work. So if somebody Googles Flippy, probably the most likely page you see is your Facebook page. So he comes to your Facebook page, doesn't really know much about Flippy, and maybe your content is not doing a good job. He needs to read, and the website to go to your website. Yep. The fifth one, you should let the way you react to other posts determine how you write posts yourself. So Emily said it. You can not really share a post while writing, but this one, like
if you think you've been seeing some posts in a certain manner you don't like, why repeat something like that? Right? So know your audience, and then when you're writing posts, ask yourself like, if you were not receiving it, if this was in your newsfeed, would you like it? Would you be interested? Yeah. The next one is be the first to share your own content. Now this is very important because of like you see, so the Facebook algorithm, and I'm very sick of it because like I use Facebook more than Twitter. Although the Twitter page is so big, but like personally I'm a bit better. So the Facebook algorithm narrows down the number of people who see stuff on your pages, right? Now, but then the more engaged someone is to your page, the higher the chance the person will see stuff on you. So if say when you make a post, there's this one person who likes it or comments on it. Anytime you make a post, the person will not receive it. We'll come to that. But then be the first to share your own post. And I do that a lot. When I make a post, I share it. Why? Because your friends also get to see it. And then there's this psychological thing, like if you read something interesting and you want to share, you go there and nobody has shared it. You don't feel like sharing, you're like, okay, so why did I even find it interesting? Like you begin to ask yourself. So share your own page because it should be there. Yeah, so and if you check, it's actually probably me sharing this thing. So when somebody says this, like, oh, so somebody found you, the person doesn't know it's you, they're the one who did it, and he's tempted to share. And when the person shares, the person is engaged to your post. So next time you make post, the person gets to receive it. Yep. So share it. And if you check, you look at them, the posts that I've shared, I got more like views than the other one. Yep. So use the Facebook Insight. So there's something there. Facebook Insight. So Emily was saying you know the time to make a post. Actually, the Facebook Insight will tell you. So popularity, I think, is between 8 and 10 p.m. So actually, Facebook should do a good job. There doesn't need to be a blanket thing. It actually depends on your audience, right? So if your audience has students, maybe they have certain times they use Facebook. If they are workers, they have so Facebook will look at that. The post will be done and how people reacted to it and tell you what time you can look at it. So the insight. Yep. So and even on which days it's better to post. So you check the numbers. So 436, 436, so on Thursdays and Fridays, if I make a post, more people are likely to see. And then this side, so this is like, yeah, 8 p.m. So between this time, like I get more people reacting to my post, right? So 7 p.m., 6 p.m., even 9 p.m. Yeah, so use the Facebook inside. The other one is to use hashtags. Yeah, and then first warning, don't overuse that. Right? Like it's not headshots if you use the hashtag. But then there's a reason why you need to use the hashtag. Maybe you have a very interesting post and it's about telcos, right? Now because telcos is a common word, when people are talking about telcos, they are likely to use the hashtag telcos. So when you make an interesting post, you put hashtag telcos, somebody somewhere probably doesn't even think about a product. But then based on a certain hashtag telcos or maybe would be put somewhere. Something easier. Only for the higher so you have yep. So after from popularity example, the longer my post, the more people see it. Right? So if my posts are a little longer, not too much, and the longer they kind of like it, right? So people see it more. But then some other posts are very the same. It is not what else like that, like it's actually also says to people. Yeah, value the kind of post you share, right? So we're going to share only text. So actually, studies have shown that you react to the photos now. And share links, share text, share photos. It's very important. So if you check, okay, so more or less, I share my posts are varied, but then more text, but then text links, photos. Yeah, so text links, a slide share. Yeah, so I have a hashtag photo Thursday, right? So on Thursdays I share photos, and normally I want the photos to be interesting. So I have so I have a schedule. Yeah, so on Mondays I post something productive, right? I call it hashtag productive Monday. On Tuesday I share facts. So I think one will tell post and share facts. It's not like Vodafone is the biggest, is it the biggest? Something like that is the biggest, but then there's this fact about Vodafone I share. Then on Wednesday, like today is a random Wednesday, so anything I feel like, yeah, so it's hashtag random Wednesday. And then Thursday is a photo Thursday, Friday is a happy Friday. I don't even know what that means, but it's yeah, so anything happy, yeah, I check.
You created all these hashtags.
Yes, my God. So, like this photo, it's based on my hashtag for 2000. Hoping to see more like funny photos, right? But then the people will not only see mine. Probably some other person is going to do practice when you say change also using for 2000. So that's how you also get to see the person. So that's why you should use hashtag. And so I'm sure the church, if somebody was using the church and also takes on their hashtag 2000, the person gets to see it. And ask questions and give incentives. Yeah, so why I give out credit is to get more people to like actually put out the challenge, right? If you get it right, I give you some credit, and then you comment, like, so the more people comment and like and comment and share, then like I'm getting more people that Facebook will sell my post. So you ask questions. When you ask questions, you're going to get a response. And then Facebook will be counting them like as people react, engage with your post, and next time they push stuff to them. Do that. Ask questions and give incentive. You know, like 1 CD credit, 2 CD credit. Find the one you saw, it was actually this is 1 CD credit, but then you need to find which one was 1 CD credit. But then I give out 2 CD credit, stuff like that. Yeah. So that's what we have. We're going to look at the Facebook page and the Twitter page. So you take them one by one, right? And so yeah, and this actually so there's this percentage Facebook. So if you have 574 likes, you're going to get like probably less than 10% seeing your post, right? So this is me giving. So actually this is from the blog. So I actually blog to like to phone tips, right? If your phone falls in water, what you shouldn't do, and probably this will help you. Do not apply heat to your phone when your phone. Like don't put in a dryer or a microwave. Don't do that. Yeah, so you know, like the chemistry students, rice can it has this adhesive stuff like this can suck. Yeah, so telecom news. So whenever and no, like French rice. So Emily says give credit, right? So this telecom news, I picked it from here, so I give the credit. This is not mine, I picked it from somewhere. So these are names. Yeah, so this is a fact Tuesday. So Tigo has over 31 million subscribers across. Yeah, so I'm sure some of you know. Many people know Tigo user. So this is another photo. That's it. So, I'm trying to solicit or get, so I asked a question, right? But I didn't get a response. So it's not today, you don't give up. Like, no, I don't do that. Yeah, yeah. So actually, like my own Facebook. Yeah. So why do you want to like? So when I mention people in my program, it's because I know they behave a certain way, or it's because I want to. It's like a pain. I'm telling you, hey, this thing I want you to see it. But then over here, you don't even like, so you don't get to know them personally. You could do that. Maybe you know some one or two people. Okay, so yeah, and the only thing like maybe it's a business. If that's like your page, stuff like that. Like please don't mention if you're not part of my friends, I can mention you. Yeah, so that's the Facebook. So and this side they say it's good practice. Like your Facebook page, you like other pages which are similar to yours. Uh, I've really found like it's like you are giving, so somebody might also give you. You are exposing this group. Hopefully, somebody also likes yours, uses it, and so they are there. Like it's just showing three at a time. Yes, I'm very careful so that it doesn't look like I'm discriminating. So yeah, so especially really they don't have services and promotions on promotions right now. Like you come everywhere, you don't get it. So maybe there is will contact and then we can have. And then like at their Facebook page, I think they don't have an official.
Any challenges?
Yeah. Yeah. So challenges. First one, getting more engagement, right? So like when I make a post, I want to see more people like it. It's actually a little hard considering that like because I have reached 74 people. So like so that's my challenge. But then when you see people with huge engagement, check the number of likes. Like maybe you see my shout, they put the question like thousand. Check the likes and do the ratio so that you don't get discouraged. Yeah, and then the other one is being very consistent. So I try to be consistent, but like being very consistent. So sometimes weekends if I'm away from the internet, I just like
So that's not really on top of
yeah, that's what we used to. So yes, so one guy. Yeah, so no, nothing. So there's a guy that like yes, the next time some of my posts have been mentioned, I realize he's a lawyer one. And for some things he comments on it. So some things that I post that are similar to the way he thinks, I can actually mention him. You feel happy and feel confident. No. Yes, so I have other like back taxi very soon will come to the post. Like you believe. So the Twitter, so we just have 23 followers, but then amongst the 23 is I think Airtel and Vodafone, so that's a good job. But if you check the number of times I tweet it, like so just 23, but then I spend time tweeting because like when somebody wants to follow you, the person checks from the last time you tweeted, and if it was 2 weeks ago or something like yeah, so just 23 is keep up a good way. Like you do like it was 500. Yeah, following stuff. So yeah, I actually believe in that, like in my nice philosophy, like. So I believe that when you follow less, you actually think and you have more. This is a psychological thing for me. It works for me. I think it works for others. Like, and then brand too much for me. Like
A commodity.
yeah, like so that's why. Yeah. No, I hate that. So I don't. Yeah, so like it's not like I know like video recently followed us. Yeah, so some like I have like 7 or so. So that so
Yeah. Promulanta follows him. Follow.
yeah, so they have on 7 like 5 factors. Yeah, I think I told myself. And then yeah, that one I don't know. Like, let's see. Okay, so this mobile world Ghana, so I get stuff from the telecom industry from them, so I'm following them. So this is Airtel Ghana, Vodafone Ghana, Tigo Ghana, MTN Ghana, myself, okay, no, Kino Ghana. Yep. So, yeah, any question? Yeah.
I think you're doing an awesome job. First of all, let's give him a round of applause. How do you maintain your consistency? That's my question.
Yeah,
How do you maintain your consistency?
I agree just every job. Yeah, this one we're full.
How do you maintain your consistency?
Yeah, so you guys know I'm a social media person. Like on breaks, that's how I ease myself. So, and like at the back of my head, actually. Can we do that? Yeah, so we are growing. Thanks to Emily. Yeah, so like it's a conscious effort. Like you need to know this is what you want to do. So you be disciplined. And then we have so like on Twitter I just tell people. And we have so many like probably our 100 services for those. Yeah.
Sometimes you get to a point, since you started media, social media campaigns, have you gotten to a point where you've actually stopped tweeting, but you always have people liking your page?
Yeah. So that's another page. But it's more like choices page because I started this institution for UCC student. So I've moved past it. I don't even. So I, like what's there now is I've set up an automatic something. Whenever there's something on the site, like it just shares it. Yeah, but then it's normal. Like if you understand the way to like, so it's sharing news, right, for students, and students like it, especially UCC students. So it's just normal, but it's not everything that is going to work like that. So I'll stop. But then like people like it. There's no real branding like you share it for me. No, it's just whatever link I have, I put it there. They're like the deliver app.
What do you think about sharing the same tweets or posts at different times of the day?
Yeah, I think that's a good job because like so the way Twitter is right now, like it just shows you the latest and it goes down and it goes down. So some of your followers probably come up like at certain times of the day. So if they see it another time, the other section is to do. Like there's this website company in UK, Red Web Design. So they are very good at that. And they have huge following, like different times of the day, the same thing.
So you think not as well doing
No, just leave it there. Yeah, but the other thing is also to recycle. Like, so you make a post today, maybe 2 weeks later, there are so many things. So you bring the back one, provided it's relevant. For community, for example, like some of the services are there forever. So I just bring it back again. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, so then, alright.
Well, thank you very much for sharing. I hope you all learned something.